This is the Jack-in-the-Box puzzle. It's the latest release from Craighill. They're a US-based company known for producing high-quality mechanical puzzles. This is actually another design of theirs here. You can see it looks really simple and really cool. It's actually called the Jack puzzle. This is recently released in steel. Previously it was made in brass, and it's a test of dexterity as much as it is a test of a puzzle. So this one is the Jack-in-the-Box. Let's take a little bit of a closer look at it. So even the packaging with this is really high quality. You can see a bit of attention to detail has been put into it. This one, it says here on the box, it weighs 1 pound 13 ounces. So a really hefty puzzle. It comes with this acrylic display stand, and it's got this little instruction sheet here as well. First, pack the 8 aluminium cuboids into the box and use the Jack as a stand. Next, find a way to fit the Jack inside the box as well. So I can see here, it's come in the solved state. I'm actually just gonna let that fall, so we don't really know where it all should go together. Presumably this is the instructions as well, but we'll put those to one side. And you can see these blocks here machined with attention to detail again. We've got these little circular cutouts giving it that texture, really nice feel to it. And this stand is actually, seems to be aluminium as well. So that sits like this. And then what we've got to do is to try and get, let's see, how do we get this stand to sit like this? And then I think the aim is to try and get all the blocks to sit as a cube inside here as the first challenge, and then the second challenge is to try and fit this stand in as well. Okay, so I don't know how to do this. I've not done it before. I did obviously see it very briefly there in the solved state, but let's get into it and see if we can put it together without the stand first. Okay, so I'm gonna get myself a coffee for this one, and I figure the first thing I'm gonna do is probably just not do it on the stand. That's gonna complicate things a little bit further. So we need to put these together first as a regular cube. So it looks like the pieces are all slightly different shapes, all quite unusual angles to them. So let's see how hard it is to actually make a cube out of these. And I think they should all sit pretty nice and flush together. And of course we're looking at a shape. I'm guessing that the first cube is either going to have all the texture to the outside, or it's going to be all smooth to the outside. I don't know which way around it's going to be, but presumably one of those is going to be all on the outside. That looks okay. And of course with 8 pieces, every one is a corner piece here. So it doesn't really matter which one we start with down the bottom. I'm sure someone can also tell me the mathematical combination here. If we have 8 blocks trying to make a cube, how many different combinations you can do it in. I can't work it out myself just now, but might be interesting to know. So this puzzle is designed by Rod Bogart. It was actually a collaboration between Art of Play and Craighill, so I think they've done a bit of collaborating in the past to produce some puzzles. And this one again, using, I think Art of Play have that connection with the magic world, so they quite like something that's a little bit magical, a little bit unusual in the puzzle rather than just a straight up challenging puzzle. Building it inside the acrylic case here does help a little bit in that you've got that straight edge to place it against, so you do know if things are straight or not, because the angles that all these pieces are cut at, it's a little bit tricky to tell whether things are lined up straight or not. And I'm trying this with the smooth sides to the outside, so I'm trying to end up with a smooth looking cube and not doing very well. So this is a strange one. This should sit in the corner like this, and then we should be able to fit a piece on top of it. And if I'm correct in that all the sides should be smooth, then it should be relatively easy to find the piece that sits there. So again, having a bit of an issue here. It doesn't look like any of these pieces are actually going to fit. Unless of course it sits like this, which I didn't try to start with. Orientation is everything. Got that one. So this is just a little bit of trial and error. These pieces have got a really nice feel to them though. So that looks okay, although it's going to leave a really... This looks like it would be a good solution for that jack actually to sit in there. So I feel like I'm solving it here for the jack first, just because I seem to be leaving a gap that's perfect to fit a jack in it. So I've got 6 pieces in, looks pretty close, but it doesn't seem quite right. Okay. So I've got 8 pieces in with what looks like a perfect gap for the jack. So let's just see if I can fit that in, and we can solve it the wrong way around. We can solve the jack part first. Like this. There we go. Okay. Then this one sat up here. Okay, so we have the jack in the box. Pretty fun. I've obviously attacked it slightly the wrong way here. I've done the second challenge first, but you can see that fits pretty snugly in the box there. And I think basically what happens is when you take it all out, it fits similarly snugly without the jack. So let's try doing that this time. So we'll go for the textured side this time and see if we can get it to fit that way around. So it doesn't seem like it's going to be an overly challenging puzzle. I guess it's going to just have 2 completely different solutions, which is quite strange given that we're working with just the same 8 pieces here. So let's try. So actually this does seem slightly easier. Now I'm going about it this way around. Okay. That looks almost right, but not quite. Okay, that looks good there. So this is definitely turning out not to be a particularly difficult puzzle, but just quite an interesting one. So there we go. Okay, so yeah, I can see where this puzzle kind of gets its name and the inspiration behind it. So we fitted all of the 8 pieces back into this cube again, and it does look as if it's a pretty snug fit. You can see a little bit of gap around the outside there, and this is one of those ones that reminds me a little bit of that infinite chocolate, where you just arrange them slightly differently. It looks like they're forming the same shape, but you have that extra piece of chocolate. So this, in that case, would be a little extra piece. We can fit it in there, and it's just a different assembly of the pieces. Overall though, really nicely made puzzle. It feels like such a high quality piece. Looks really cool as a display. I like the fact that you've got that 2 textures as well. So you do kind of have that differentiation between the jack in the box and the standard assembly. As with all Craighill puzzles, they are very, very nicely made. Machined here from solid metal. I think we're looking at, yeah, what did I say, over £1, nearly £2 worth of puzzle here. And as always, if you're interested in them, I'll leave a link down in the description below. That's it for today's video though. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.